I'll tell you what, I'm John Marietta, the Hillbilly. As the people of Fayette County's Recorder of Deeds, it's my responsibility to protect your most valued asset, your property. I work for you, not some political clique trying to enrich themselves at your expense. They do this with their lack of transparency in how they conduct all facets of county government, from the elections to government operations to an additional proposed 1.9 mil tax increase. They continue leading you, the taxpayers, as they fritter away your hard-earned tax money. Join me on the Hillbilly Jon Show on Facebook and on WMBS Radio 590 AM and 101.1 FM to keep informed by we, the people's watchdog, guarding your assets from their irresponsible taxing. Together, we can make Fayette County an affordable place to live without the burden of wasteful spending. God bless each and every one of you, and God bless America. I am John Marietta, and I am the Hillbilly.
Money for nothing, money for nothing, money for nothing.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This land of ours is under attack. Time has come, we're gonna take it back. Just wait and see. Don't tread on me. I won't sit back, stand idly by. Watch the heart of my nation die. Oh, not me. Don't tread on me. Don't tread on my Bible, don't tread on my guns. Don't you tread on my faith in God's only Son. Don't tread on me.
Hey everybody, this is John Marietta, and I am the Hillbilly, and it's another Trump-tastic day in Fayette County. Today's show is being brought to you by Monarch Windows and Doors, Mauser's Garage and Tire Center, Mung's Auto Body, PatriotsOnline.com, Fayette County Recovery Storage and U-Haul, the IDF of Fayette County. Give UB a call, 724-323-3833, Gunslingers in Connellsville. Yeah, it's almost Christmas, and I'm sure they'll have a present down there for your dad. Go down and visit them. Tactical Civics, Solid Foundation Ministry, Highline Motorsports. I know Greg got a bunch of bikes in. Go out and see what he has. I'm sure he appreciates it. He's right on Morgantown Street, right past the shopping center. Gun Owners of America, Hillbilly Jon Radio, and John Marietta for We the People, and always the Ink Spot in South Connellsville. If you want ink on paper, that's where you need to go. Hey, I'll tell you what. I want to start out with this. It's Proverbs. In the book of Proverbs, integrity is hailed as a non-negotiable trait for godly leadership. The trait is explicitly mentioned in Proverbs 10:9. Whoever walks in integrity walks securely, but he who makes his way crooked will be found out. The verse points out that leaders who prioritize integrity have nothing to fear, while those who choose deceit will eventually be exposed. That's where we're at. How about that? I mean,
wow.
we got a lot to talk about exposure here.
We do. That was spot on, John. I mean, after what we saw yesterday at the commissioners' meeting, first of all, I was nervous, John. We put the call out, tried to spread the word about the commissioners' meeting, about the proposed income or the proposed tax hike, and I was concerned. I was worried that no one would show up. I really was, or there'd be just a poor attendance. And my heart was full. It was just full of admiration for the people of this county.
And I want to thank each and every one of them came.
Everyone.
And what we want to tell everybody. I got several phone calls afterwards that people went home, and we got to thank WMBS for doing the coverage there.
Wonderful job they
did. They did a great job. We need to thank Nick and
if you didn't see it, go on the website.
Yep, it's on
WMBS website and watch the meeting at your leisure.
But what I wanted to tell you, Gino, was we got several phone calls, and I know you got a couple phone calls.
It's
people
constant.
couldn't find places to park.
There were people that actually got there, and there was no room to park because they wanted to express how difficult this tax increase would be on them. And one of the speakers, someone from the public made the comment: had the commissioners held that meeting in the evening, they would have needed a stadium to hold everybody, because nobody wanted to see the tax increase. They gave no justification for it, and they tried. And we've been saying this, folks, for months and months, and really over the last few years, that this administration can't handle their finances. This is not something that just happened yesterday.
No.
Every day they work on the budget. That's their job. Every day. This has been coming for a while. And they were really, the finances of this county were in such horrible shape that they ended up going into debt. A few months back, they borrowed $15 million. And
well, we think they might have it now.
Well, they might have it, but
because they
but
voted,
the idea is
they probably was the vote for the
was probably conditioned on them raising taxes. So they borrowed money to try to cover up all this wasteful spending over the last 6-7 years, and it was really sad. And it was also sad to let people know, they tried to turn this into we got to raise taxes or we're not going to have bike trails. It was just they threw up a red herring. Nobody fell for it. Everybody thinks trails are nice. This is about priorities, and this is about survival. We're in an emergency right now, folks, and we've been in an emergency situation for quite a while, but the commissioners, through reinforcing everyone, all the finances are okay. We're doing good. County's looking good. Oh, and they went on and on about they went on for a good half hour. Vince Facilities about all the money he saved the county.
Well, if he saved all the money, where's
and
it at?
A little old lady got up there and she said, "Well, Vince, if you're telling the truth and you saved us all this money, why are you raising taxes again?" This is not a new thing. These three guys raised taxes 3 mills back in 2020. And here they are again. They haven't learned their lesson. They've built an infrastructure of taxation and folks, but this doesn't end. Now, we didn't have a favorable outcome. I don't know how Vince Facilities, looking at those people, hearing their stories.
Well, actually, Gino, let's clarify
and Scott
that.
Dunn. How in the world they could vote no?
Scott Dunn and Vince Facilities was very rude to the public yesterday. They were playing on their phones. They weren't looking. They were
very disrespectful, of the sovereign, the people that they work for. And I would encourage everyone to go on YouTube, watch the meeting. Guess what? There was a hot mic. You can hear all Vince's comments. You can hear all the side comments that Scott Dunn made, the sneering at the people. They detest these people. I mean, how they can continue to give these tax breaks for the ultra wealthy and elite in Fayette County, and how they can continue to work for just the few instead of the many, just beyond me.
And there was a very successful businessman there. He made it very clear. I only graduated from 8th grade. And he says, now I'm a millionaire. And
he gave several examples on the fly of corruption.
Yeah, of the corruption.
Major corruption inside of this county. We got to do something, folks. We're in an emergency. We're going to lose this county. I mean, and I'm not talking about a political party losing it or individual. They are really running this county into the ground to such a point. Private equity is going to be looking at, coming in here. We know that that's a real thing. This little bit of resources that we have that they squandered, and they're squeezing the few of us that are left. They're squeezing us. They're squeezing the life out of us.
I've got several phone calls. I mean, my phone pinged all night long. Actually, I had guys on night shift that were watching it, and it did a couple different places where they were working, and they're calling me and telling me, John, what can we do to stop this? And I told them, I said, right as of now, I don't have no thoughts other than don't pay your taxes. Well, that's the only thing I can think of. Just don't pay your taxes. But
well, listen, now we don't want anyone. You don't want anyone to get in trouble. We're actually looking into to see if we can escrow our taxes in an account, while and file a lawsuit against the county, and we're looking into this, folks. But here's the thing: I have a message for Vince Facilities and Scott Dunn. If you thought yesterday was rough, buckle up, Buttercup, because this ride's just getting started. This fight is going to continue day after day and week after week. They can open that budget anytime they want. They can stop spending money frivolously anytime they want. This is a decision they made every day, approving these invoices, and the budget's just a guideline. A lot of times administrations have opened up budgets after the new year. They have a requirement. They have to get a balanced budget filed by the end of the year, even if it is a fictitious budget. I mean, I looked at that budget. I saw fat in it. You start talking about a $55+ million budget. You can trim $1 million or $2 million. There's lots of opportunities. Now it's that they just don't want to give up these luxuries. They're going to have to make some tough cuts. This is what they're paid to do. This is what the people elect leaders to do, to make hard choices. Do you know what I don't want to do? I don't want to wonder about the county finances on a day-to-day basis. I'm not a commissioner. I'm not at the county. People just want to work. They want to go. They want to go to work. They want to pay their bills, and they just want to. You want to have trust and faith that your leadership is doing the right thing. Well, guess what? We saw that they broke the public trust.
They did. Yesterday.
They broke the public trust, and they did it in a way that was so disrespectful and so heartless. There were so many different appeals.
The Grinch even showed up.
Yes, it was. Look, I'm going to tell you, it was a righteous anger in the room yesterday. It was a righteous anger, and we've had some very compassionate people pray for the commissioners, hope that they have a change of heart, and they still can. I mean, they can. Every day when you wake up, and if you're lucky enough to wake up and you see the sun still shining or not shining, you can turn your life around. You can turn your life. You can give it over to Jesus. You can decide today I'm going to be responsible with my money. So tomorrow's always another day. This fight's just starting, folks.
Well, maybe they'll give it. Maybe they'll look for Jesus right before they go to jail.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing. This corruption in this county, we have so many examples of it. And you know what was amazing? People are feeling it now, and they're sharing some information which we're vetting. Right now that
we got people
very troubling, very troubling. And I actually hope it's not true. But this is more than ineptness that led to these this big tax increase. It was more than that. It was more than just some lazy politicians. These were conscious decisions to basically spend our money. I mean, They consciously decided every day for the last 6 years, 8 years, or in Vince's case, 30 years, this is what we're going to do.
We're just going to raise taxes. We're going to put this on the property owners.
We
have to figure out a way that everybody that does business in this county pays a little bit. We're not going to try to beat you up. We just want we want everybody that comes into the county. They talked about how much money the bike trails.
It was just a distraction, a complete distraction.
But if it's actually that much money, why can't we somehow tax that money?
John, I'm going to tell you, listen, the whole bike trails is a distraction. If Vince Facilities were ever committed to bike trails, the Sheepskin Trail would have been built 15 years ago. When Al Ambrosini left office, Al Ambrosini and Vince Sabatowski, they passed an ordinance to take all the money from the German Township well site with the gas industry. All the money was generated from gas and oil on our parks was supposed to fund trails, was supposed to fund the parks, none of which happened. The very next administration that came in after Ambrosini took that money and rolled it right into general fund, folks. This is all just lies. We had opportunities over the years to get Tiger grants to finish the Sheepskin Trail in one fell swoop. I was the parks director for a short time. Vince Facilities told me, why would we do the trail all at once? He likes all these little 1 mile, 2 mile ribbon cuttings and the cookies and the photo ops.
They weren't bold enough to have a ribbon cutting about that 1.7 mill tax increase they had yesterday.
No, this is all a distraction. They're trying to say, well, if you can't have trails without higher taxes, that's all bunk. And I tell you another thing about trails, folks. Somerset charges their tourism taxes higher than ours. They get more of the money. Why are we taking less? We don't tax our tourists. They're building a tourism economy. If you have a campground and you stay in that campground in Fayette County, guess what you don't have? You don't pay the overnight, the hotel tax. It's totally eligible for campgrounds. That's something that's paid by outsiders. That they want to tax the people in this county, tax the tourists that are coming in. Leave our money alone. Get your hands off our wallet. There are ways to fund tourism. Quit lying to the people. You won't do it. You give all your tourism money to Laurel Highlands, and that instead of having a tourism agency in this county. The tourism will pay for itself. You steal that money too. It just makes me so crazy, John. There's plenty of resources. It's the way they allocate them. It's the individuals. Vince Facilities, he's on a hot mic saying that he can't make it. He lives paycheck to paycheck. My goodness gracious. He lives paycheck to paycheck, and he's running our finances. He's got the county living paycheck to paycheck. That has to stop. He admitted it on the mic, the hot mic. He says, I don't make enough. Commissioners of other counties make more. Go to one of those counties. That's the deal you signed on for. People trusted you. They put trust in you, Vince. And Scott, this applies to him too.
Scott too.
Let the tourism pay for the tourists. Let the property owners pay to run a responsible, lean government. Start shrinking this government. Make it the right size for the county we have. My God, you guys with the assistants, your assistants have assistants. And that's just part of it. It's just insane. And the wasted money on the jail. This got to stop. Folks. This is an emergency. Anytime. Now, I was at the meeting when they borrowed the $15 million. They pulled a fast one. The meeting where they were planning to do it, they canceled without much notice. Some of the department heads were there.
Yeah.
John, you were there.
I was there.
They didn't have the meeting. Then they heard it, advertised it, had a meeting where they borrowed $15 million. You know how many people from the public were there? I was it. John was there, and he's a county employee. And if I hadn't known John, I wouldn't even known about the meeting. I can't watch every day to see them try to pull these last-minute meetings. They barred them. I was the only one who spoke up against it. But that's what, at that meeting's when they made the tax increase. But you know what? My heart was just, I was overcome with joy when I saw the people stand up. Now's the time, folks. We're going to stand up. We're going to keep the pressure on. It's just starting.
It is just.
And I love trails. I owned the River's Edge Family Campground for almost a decade, my family longer. I love and support these trails, but I don't want the taxpayers to pay for it. Let the tourists pay for it. How much more grant money are we going to dump into Connersville on these failed projects? I put my own money in the hotel. That hotel went bankrupt because of some bad management down there. I was just a minority partner. I had no say in that. But you know what that hotel did to Fayette County? Go ask Ferris Carpet. This is public information. He lost like $200,000. He was a contract. They never paid for the rugs. And there's a whole list of people in this county that worked in good faith that never got paid. They got gobbled up in that bankruptcy. And then we're subsidizing the thing next to it. And right now we've got a brewery. Oh, the growth in Connersville, the brewery. They got $1 million RCAP grant.
Well, there's a brewery coming to Brownsville.
Well, are they getting $1 million? Listen, I'm all for, no one ever gave me no giant grant when we bought the campground. Listen, these entities have to survive or make it or break it on their own. They can't be this welfare mentality that everyone accuses, Fayette County being. It comes from the commissioners. They have a welfare mentality. Gimme. They want that grant money. If you're going to get it, great. Don't become dependent on it. And this grant money's a trap, and they fall into it every time. They bragged about how they didn't spend. They got the Gallatin Bank building for nothing. You could keep it. You know why you got it for nothing? Nobody wanted it. You couldn't pay someone to take that building. Yet we did. The taxpayers did. So last night, folks, the loan came due. We co-signed. We were co-signers on all this spending when they bought the Rat Tunnel, when they bought the Farron's building. You, as a taxpayer, were a co-signer. And if you're a renter, guess what? Your landlord co-signed. Well, and yesterday, the bill came due.
Well, a lady that very reputable has a good many properties, rental properties, and she told me that her taxes are going to go for. Now she has several rental properties, and she says I am fortunate. I have good renters, but she says I already called them. She said your rent's going to have to go up. She said, and some of them are like how much, and she says, well, I got. My taxes are going to go up according to this 25%, almost $6,000 a year. Think about that, what I just said. $6,000 a year.
What are they doing with this money? What the heck is it? Where's the prosperity? They're dumping it into money pits. You'd be further ahead to take all the money and pile it up and just light it up. At least we could be warm.
And I understand that there was an article in the Courier, but I didn't get to read it yet. But about the tunnel over to the
yeah, that Connersville's not giving up on that Stinky Bridge project. Scott Dunn's involved. It's just a bad deal down there. We're not going to say anything more about that right now because we've got new information to come to light. We really got to vet it. But I tell you what, folks. The proof's in the pudding. Look around this county. Drive through Brownsville. Drive through Connersville. Scott Dunn made the comment that he wasn't aware that there was a drug problem or needles in Connersville. Are you kidding me? Uniontown had, according to the coroner's report that I had, I should have brought that with me. I think last year there were, and I hope I'm quoting this right.
72?
Last year there were 19 deaths from overdose.
Okay.
I mean, there's way more overdoses. I mean, some of these people were overdosed and get Narcan back over and over. Well, Connersville was only like 7. Connersville was right behind them, but they had like 17 deaths from overdoses. Now, Connersville is much smaller than Uniontown. There's a huge problem in Connersville. Get your head out of your ass. Go to Connersville. Go to. You're down there for all these ribbon cuttings, and you're down there at the hotel that's subsidized. Go. Why don't you go through the streets in the neighborhoods of Connersville and and your own town, Dunbar? Look at the problems there. Start addressing these problems. Quit chasing these crazy fantasies of big spending, and let's get this county shrunk down so that let the people breathe. Get your foot off the neck of the taxpayers. They can't handle it anymore.
I hope you can take a deep breath. I know.
I'm just angry. My heart broke when they raised those taxes. I was sad for those people. I was sad. Those people were hurting. They're hurting. Now I'm mad.
What hurt me the most was when we seen the just apathy that they had for the people that was in that room.
Disdain they had for the people. They have a disdain for these people.
They were playing on their
callousness.
They were playing on their phones.
A callousness.
2 of them were. Now Dave actually, I got to give Dave Lure credit. He
stayed awake and attentive, and he defended. And you're seeing even the press to some degree trying to misrepresent Dave's position on trails. Dave says, "Look, trails are great, like trails."
Let's get our priorities.
But it's not my priority today. And he's right, because this county's on fire. It's on fire. You can't. They're trying to build a county for people that aren't here.
And there's another thing. We can't go into that.
No, we can't touch that yet. We're going to get into legal stuff.
We'll get into legal
but we're getting close.
Yep. But anyways, I tell you what. But I just want to commend everybody that showed up. Thank you so much. People took off work. Yeah.
They made a huge sacrifice to be there.
We know one guy that drove around the block 3 times.
Couldn't get in.
He said,
a former supervisor who really wanted to tell him how it was. Because I'm not going to say his name, but that fella, he worked real hard in his township to keep taxes low for like 18 years, and maybe did one small increase. That's the kind of leadership we need. My God, where do these guys come from? What is happening? How can they spend this money like this?
And then people say that we were rude to them. We weren't rude to them. When somebody's stealing off of you, you don't thank them for it.
I'll tell you what, the commissioners, Scott Dunn and Vince Facilities, they are lucky to get out of there last. If someone would have tossed a rope out, I think they would have strung them up.
Well, we didn't want none of that. We were.
No, we didn't want. But the anger in the room was certainly, it was a righteous anger. I really could feel it, and it's different than just anger and chaos. Everyone was very respectful, I thought, considering the tension. And and the reality is, guess what? And you know why they're mad? They're mad because they believed them, they trusted them, and they to see that and everyone there felt duped, I think. And they were hurt, and some of them were genuinely really scared of how they're going to make it, which really broke my heart.
Yeah, some of the seniors were.
Some of the seniors were really scared.
I've got messages all day long from people that are saying, "John, is there anything we can do? Is there anything we can do to stop this?" And I don't know. We're looking into several different situations, but I don't know I don't know. I don't have an answer.
Well, listen. At any point, these commissioners can have a change of heart. At any point, they can say, you know what, it's tough. We're going to cut this. We're going to cut. I mean, I've seen them come in and cut whole departments, restructure things. I mean,
they tried to do that with the tax office, and they got it so screwed up right now. Nobody can even get a clear audit.
It's a real mess up there.
They got rid of Sam Lynch was the financial director. For
that was critically bad mistake.
That's what's caused all this right now. Because
they lost. They were juggling a budget, and they were working a plan to get out of it, as I understand it, and they pulled the juggler out from underneath them, and they tried to put another juggler in there.
Yeah, and
who wasn't qualified, not to her, and then she's trying to catch up. Now they hired another firm that cost more than Susquehanna.
Yeah.
I mean, these people were insane. You couldn't, I believe a lot of it is ineptness, but at this point, I mean, you couldn't plan to wreck the county any better. I mean, Jesus, it's like a strategic plan to destroy a county. It has to be, and if they don't have a plan, that's even worse. They're running around without a plan. They didn't have any plan when they bought that building. They didn't have any plan when they built the rat tunnel. They bought who buys a piece of property and feels that they need to spend $1 million to connect to it? You don't even know if you're going to keep that property and use it, if it's going to work out.
And the bad thing about it was, I've had several lawyers. They come in to ask me what they paid for that for the DA's office in the buildings back there, and I looked it up, and
sure.
Give them the numbers, and they said, "Geez, if that's all they paid, I'd have bought it in order."
It was a backroom deal, I'm sure. But anyhow, I mean, all of this stuff, it's just too much. And the people found out, and I get it, when we were on the campaign trail, it sounded a little negative. But all we were trying to do is just alert people and give them the bitter truth. And I think we did give them the bitter truth, and I think people know that's a tough pill. But guess what? They saw the bitter truth last night.
After yesterday.
I mean, it was evident.
Yep.
They saw through all the sweet lies of Vince Facilities and Scott Dunn, and they saw the bitter truth as a tax increase and a foundation that they've built with these buildings are going to ensure there's going to be future tax increases. It's going to take someone with a lot of political guts to go in there with a wrecking ball and restructure some of this stuff.
Oh, it has
and cut the expense. It's going to have to be tough.
And it's going to be tough.
It's going to be tough.
And
these guys aren't tough.
And the way Pennsylvania law is we have to wait. We have to wait this out. So
we got to work. I'll tell you something though. There was a shining star, Charity Grimm.
Exactly.
She came down, and Charity did a great job. She's very articulate. She really expressed the, what the people were feeling.
Exactly.
And some of the people that weren't so articulate though, boy, they deserved every bit of respect that Charity had and everyone else had in that room, and they didn't get it. And I mean, that was to me was just unforgivable. Unforgivable.
Well,
Made me mad.
It takes a
now
while.
I'm mad.
Yeah, I know you're mad.
I know. I got to calm down.
Righteous anger. Anger. Yeah, but you're right. It takes a lot for somebody to stand up in front of a group of people they don't know. I mean, it's to say the blessing, let alone have to communicate with somebody that will not even look you in the eye, will not even pay attention to what you're saying, and then afterwards making snide comments about the people that were there. I mean, that's what they did. That's what they did.
Lack of character. And you know what, though? Their character showed through with all this spending. Without correcting the train, I mean, this is not something that happened yesterday. This is something that happened. This happened 8 years ago. This happened 7 years ago. This happened 6 years ago and 5 years ago. And we're just built up to a point that now we're in debt. I mean, everyone gave them a huge pass in 2020 when they raised the budget. They said, okay, you have to do this permanent increase
for the jail.
And that was their excuse, which they didn't, but that's another issue. But they just mishandled everything. They said, oh, we got great loans on the jail. It's going to be saved money. We save money. You can't save money spending money. And guess what? Grant money is never free. Never.
There's not a grant.
You give someone $1 million, it's not free. You're going to have to,
it's still tax money. I don't understand why they don't get that.
But
it's still tax money.
It is, and it costs money to use that grant money, and there's consequences to having. If you get a grant money for garbage cans, who's buying the garbage bags? Who's emptying the garbage cans? Who's paying for the landfill dumps? Oh boy, I better stay away from that one.
Oh yeah,
because we got a big we got a big scandal coming up on the garbage, and not just Uniontown's garbage.
Yeah, I mean,
this county is out of control, and we're going to start doing our part because I feel like the people really want to hear. They want to see. They want the unvarnished truth.
I can't say enough about good things about Charity Grimm tonight because I mean she showed up. I don't know where the rest of our state leadership was, but she showed up. She She was very articulate, like you say.
She is for Fayette County.
Exactly.
For the people.
Is.
She don't care about party. She wanted to get her own party with the injection wells. She did what's right for Fayette County. But you know what Charity's not doing? I'm not doing. We're not out fighting injection wells everywhere else. We're just fighting for Fayette County. We don't want them here. This is where we draw our line in the sand. And I think she's a kindred spirit in that, even though, half of the county's not even in her district. It's just a concern for people. It's a basic compassion. Everybody sees. Everyone could see the vision, the money they're spending.
They still haven't got the solar ordinances taken care of.
Listen,
they still haven't got that taken care of. And
that was slow walked. That solar ordinance, was slow walked by the county. It was slow walked so that certain people could take advantage.
We got a call today. I'll be on next Tuesday for the Christmas show. While on this road called life, you have to take the good with the bad. Smile when you're sad, love what you got, and remember what you had. Always forgive, but never forget. Learn from your mistakes, but never regret. People change. Things go wrong. Just remember the ride goes on. God bless each and every one of you, and God bless America. I am John Marietta, and I am the Hillbilly.